Porsche is like the rock star of sports cars. For more than 50 years, their fast cars became the go-to for everyday driving. Porsche had some tough times, but also lots of good ones. They made cool special edition cars, although not all are great for everyday use. Here are some super rare and unique Porsches that stand out in the crowd. The 911 ST was made from 1970 to 1971. They crafted 24 of these cars to race in cool events like Daytona, Targa Florio, and the 1000 Chem of Nürburgring. This car was like a racing pro, handling tough drives better than even faster prototype cars. While you can take it on the streets, it's the racetrack where it truly shines. They even boosted the power to 270 horsepower with a bigger 2.5-liter engine. What makes the 911 ST stand out? Well, it rocks two different rim styles. In 1970, the FIA changed the rules, allowing wider wheel arches. Porsche didn't have the right rims, so they slapped Minolite wheels on the back. Cool, huh? Well, you were yet to experience some more fun. Next up, the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 3.8. This is a car bred for racing. No exaggeration, the Porsche 964 911 Carrera RS 3.8 was like a luxury-packed powerhouse. Picture this. It had the broad body style of the Type 964 Turbo, a huge rear spoiler, and fancy speedline for Porsche wheels with 235/40 and 285/35 tires, giving it a seriously aggressive look compared to the milder 1990. 2 Carrera RS. And let's not forget the beastly 3.8-liter air-cooled engine, larger than the Carrera RS, delivering more torque. Why did they make this bad boy? Well, it served as the base for the legendary 3.8 RSR, the king of the racing scene. They only made 55 of these after its debut in 1993, taking the 964 Carrera RS from the previous year to the extreme. Porsche was all about lightweight design, learning from the RS 2.7 and RS 3.0. They borrowed tricks from the 964 Cup cars, tweaking the transmission's gearing for an optimized power-to-weight ratio. The result? A 964 911 Carrera RS that could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.9 seconds and hit a top speed of 169 miles per hour. Now, that's speed with style. Moving over to the Porsche 911 GT1 Strassen version. The street-ready version of the Porsche 911 G-Tone, also known as the Strassen version, is like a beastly and super exclusive 911. Think of it as the one and only GT1 designed for the road, almost identical to its fully race-ready twin, but with a simpler cabin. Now, what makes this bad boy roar? Well, the flat-six turbocharged engine sits behind the back axle, a bit different from the usual 911 setup. Forget the regular 911 rear subframe. This one rocks chassis tubes, and the 6-speed transmission hangs out lengthwise behind the engine. The GT1's chassis takes inspiration from the 993, but adds a dash of flair with revised bodywork and a seriously tough roll cage to keep the engine, transmission, and suspension safe. This car was born for the racetrack, boasting a carbon fiber body, a wide wing, a cozy cockpit, and a whopping 600 horsepower. Sure, they made some tweaks for the street version. Steel brakes replaced the carbon discs of the race model. The road version rode a bit higher, and the suspension was softer compared to the Le Mans GT1S. The engine, only slightly less pumped than the racing one, sits in a complete interior decked out with sports seats and a full dashboard from the 993 line. Next up, with only a production of 19, the Porsche 911R. When we dive into special versions of the first G911, the Carrera 2.7 RS usually steals the spotlight. But you know what paved the way for its success? The 911R. The 911R was born to be a pure racing beast, ruling both tracks and rally courses. Technically, they made 23, but only 19 were meant for the streets. The racing siblings had different drivetrains based on the race type. Now, the road versions, the stars of the show, packed a flat 6 engine straight from the 906 race car, belting out 210 horsepower, later upgraded to 230, at a screaming 8,000 rounds per minute. And here's the kicker, it weighed just 1,764 pounds, 800 kilograms, thanks to a heavy dose of fiberglass in the body panels. To this day, it proudly holds the title of the lightest 911 ever made. The Porsche 911 Speedster is another rare example. Porsche never officially rolled out a production version of the 993 Speedster. But in 1995, they whipped up a dark green 993 Speedster to celebrate Ferdinand Buzzi Porsche's 60th birthday. Feeling a bit left out, Jerry Seinfeld wanted in on the action. So, in 1998, he got his hands on a silver 993 Speedster. But here's the twist: it started life as either a Targa or Cabriolet before Porsche Exclusive worked its magic. Just to spice things up, only two 993 Speedsters were ever born. Talk about rare. Now, the creme de la creme is the 911 Speedster, the rarest of the rare. Two real-deal units were made. One found a new home, and the other, a generous gift, eventually found its way back to the factory museum, chilling on loan. Today, it's basically priceless. Picture this: a Carrera 2 Cabriolet turned into a green 993 Speedster from the 993 series. The experts even borrowed the flat windscreen from the 964 to give it that extra oomph. Inside, there's a Tiptronic transmission, a classy dark brown leather interior decked out with RS seats, fancy wood trim, and special storage nooks under the roof stowage compartment. The result? A masterpiece. Rumor has it that F.A. was one happy camper, even though he didn't take this exclusive one-off model out for a spin too often. Next up is a true gem, the Porsche 911 Project Gold. This is the exception of the exception. The Porsche 911 993 Project Gold is a true one-of-a-kind gem. Created by Porsche Classic in 2018 to mark Porsche's 70th anniversary, this special edition is like no other, emerging 2 decades after the 993 series wrapped up. At its core, it's built on the foundation of the 911 Turbo from the 993 generation, but it's decked out with unique innovations that make it stand out. First things first, that eye-catching bright yellow color. It's called Golden Yellow Metallic, drawing inspiration from the exclusive gold finish of the Porsche 911 Turbo S. Now, let's talk about power. The heart of Project Gold is a beastly 450 horsepower, 3.6-liter twin-turbo flat-6 engine, paired with a 6-speed manual transmission. Project Gold isn't just a car, it's an instant classic. It's a stellar way to celebrate 70 years of Porsche, showcasing the company's unwavering commitment to crafting top-tier sports vehicles. With a production of only 13, the Porsche 911-991 Club Coupe is as rare as they come. When it comes to rare Porsche 911 versions, the Club Coupe takes the spotlight as the newest in terms of model year. Emerging in 2013 and based on the 991 Carrera SA, this exclusive edition was produced in an extremely limited run of just 13 vehicles. The whole idea behind it was to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the first Porsche Club, adding an extra layer of exclusivity by making it available only to members of Porsche clubs. Now, what makes the Club Coupe stand out? Well, it rocks a distinctive Brewster green color, 20-inch Sport Techno wheels, and a stylish ducktail rear spoiler. Under the hood, it packs a punch with the Carrera S Power Kit. The 3.8-liter flat-6 engine cranks out 424 horsepower, and it's paired with a PDK gearbox for that perfect blend of power and precision. The Porsche 914-8 is an ultra-rare gem, with only 2 examples ever produced. Both of these rare birds are still in Porsche's possession, proudly displayed at the Stuttgart Museum. Sporting a 3.0 908 engine generating 300 horsepower and a 916 transmission, this 914-8, unfortunately, never got the green light for public use. They stand as prototypes and test vehicles, showcasing advanced features that didn't quite make it into the final production models. Now, let's talk about the 914-8 prototype supercar, making it one of the rarest Porsches in existence. The first of the duo was tailor-made for Ferdinand PH, boasting a mighty 350 horsepower flat-8 racing engine. The second one had a special purpose. It was a 60th birthday gift for Ferry Porsche, featuring a slightly detuned 914-8 engine, producing a still impressive 300 horsepower. Imagine this: the 914-8, weighing in at just 2,100 pounds, was a beast on the road, driven by that roaring 350 horsepower flat-8 racing engine. In 1969, it was nothing short of terrifying, bringing track-level performance to the streets. While today, such power is a norm in modern supercars, back then, the 914-8 was a revolutionary force, setting a new standard for performance on the road. Thanks for diving into the world of rare Porsches with me. If you're as fascinated as I am by these automotive gems, hit that like button and subscribe for more thrilling Porsche tales. Which rare Porsche would you love to take for a spin? Let me know in the comments below. And until the next ride, stay legendary.